Today I'll be reviewing my 2016 Porsche Macan S, and here are a few of the unique features that this specific model has. It also has 76,998 miles on it currently, so we'll be talking about some of the things that will wear and tear over time. So a few unique features. The exterior color is sapphire blue metallic, standard interior in black, which the standard interior is actually pretty impressive. I'm happy with that. Air suspension, sport design package with side skirts, window trim in high gloss black, lane change assist, instrument dials in white, sport chrono package, sport exhaust including sport tailpipes in black. Sport design side mirrors, side blades in exterior color, seat belts in garnet red, 21-inch Sport Classic wheels in platinum satin, and the Sport Chrono clock or compass dial in white. So when this car was new, it was $81,164. And the question you're asking yourself, you see a lot of these Macans become very affordable now in the used market. This model only costs $37,000, and now that the car market has gone like this, it's worth about $12. So I'm gonna drive it on some incredible roads and explain to you why this is possibly the best all-around vehicle in the world. This vehicle... Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put it in low mode, so the air suspension is going to lower the car 10 millimeters from standard. Now it also has off-road mode, which raises it 40 millimeters from standard, which is pretty significant. That's features that come with the air suspension. The air suspension in this thing is awesome. At 77,000 miles, there's been no issues with it from anything that I can see on the Carfax. It just smooths out the car, but also lets it be sporty when you want it to be. Now, additionally, we're on a curvy mountain road, and you might be thinking to yourself, like, you're in an SUV, what are you doing? The PDK in this car is incredible. The wheels are staggered, so you have wider wheels in the back than you have in the front, and it handles with all-season tires on it, not better than a lot of sports cars, but would hang with a bunch of sports cars through these types of segments. And then you have the versatility of it being an SUV. So downshift into this turn here. Camera couldn't even handle it. The shifts are just immediate. You have massive brakes up front, enough to handle going on a pass like this. Now for a track day, obviously you're gonna wanna do something different. But on a road like this, I mean, look how I'm pushing this car. Yeah, this is my old mount and I need to get rid of it. These mounts are great, they're from Gjeebs, but you can see that they wear over time. This is years old, so hopefully that holds up. So you can have the versatility of this being an SUV and having a bunch of space and being able to haul the kids and all the junk. Now it's not the best, you know, it's smaller than like a BMW X3, probably has a little bit more space. The way the exterior of the Macan is designed reduces the trunk space. So it certainly looks really good, but also reduces the functionality of it being a useful SUV. You have 340 horsepower, 339 foot-pounds of torque, and with launch control it'll hit 60 in about 5 seconds flat. But just the precision, and listen to those shifts. I mean, it's truly, in the body roll, there's not much body roll here. Like, it's truly an impressive car to drive on roads like this, and that's what you wouldn't really expect out of an SUV. So now we're gonna throw it into Sport Plus. In Sport Plus, it's remarkable. It holds gears truly to where you'd want them to be. Right now we're in third, and it's just holding the RPMs. You can feel the car kind of floating, and then just digs into these turns. And again, the car has 77,000 miles on it with all-season tires. So imagine throwing a high performance all-season or a summer tire on this. Oh my God. Oh, it's such a cool car. It's truly confidence inspiring. I've never driven an SUV that makes me feel like this. Just give you smiles on a back road. Now, is it meant for this? No, not really. But the fact that Porsche, or Porsche, depends on which one you drive, puts the time and effort in to make it work like this, my God, what a machine. And then they have the GTS models, and they have the Macan T now. It's aggressive. I mean, it's holding the gears, the brakes are holding up. Now, we're not on some crazy track run. I mean, you shouldn't be seeing brake fade in something like we're doing right now, but you're gonna have fun in this thing. Now, they are expensive, and the maintenance is also a lot. An oil change from Porsche is gonna run you $450. PDK fluid, $1,000. Spark plugs, probably $1,000. Another thing that has failed in the past is this window switch here. To get that fixed is about $500. Luckily, I've found Exotic Motor Works in Scottsdale, so I'll be taking my Macan to them for everything. And those guys were Porsche technicians for like over 20 years, so they do the same work, if not better, because it's, probably the same work, we'll call it, because Porsche does great work in their shops as well. They actually care. Like a lot of these high-end dealerships, even the salespeople, you can't just like go sell for Mercedes and if you've never sold a car before. You have to put in work at some other level to gain that access. But the PDK transmission and the sport exhaust, oh my God. The sport exhaust, I don't know, it's almost $3,000. Is it worth it? It depends who you are. It depends how much you actually care about that stuff. But it does sound good. It's valved, so you're able to change it. The suspension's tight right now. It's a sport suspension. It's not loud or clunky, kind of what it needs to be. It just gives you the nice bounce, but this car is not overly stiff, especially with the air suspension. Cars like the BMW X3M are noted to be really stiff. They do not have an air suspension. It is adaptive, but this suspension is excellent. I think if there's one option on a Macan that I feel is worth it, it is the air suspension. It does add a point of fault in the future because, one of the tanks could go out or you could have a leak or something, so that, it adds that. But if you're buying it new, it's under warranty anyways. And then used, you've saved so much from when it was new, just budget for it. But this car, it hasn't happened. It seems to be totally fine. It's almost bulletproof. And the other thing is there's a lot of this car is made from an Audi Q5. Now, it's not an Audi Q5 with a Porsche badge. If you say that, that's a very stupid statement because there's so much more that Porsche has done to put their badge on it that if you drive it, you would understand that very quickly. Now, one thing we need to address with this car, it is excellent, but there are downsides to it. So we already touched on maintenance. Maintenance is very expensive, but you're like, what do you expect? Like, I mean, it takes 9 quarts of oil to put in this thing. So half of that, it's expensive. The upper control arms, the bushings are cracked, so I will have to get those repaired. That's another $500. So these things start to add up. Again, I'm at 77,000 miles. A lot of you won't even keep your car that long. But if you're getting one with this type of mileage on it, these are things you can expect or things you can at least look for. Now, the other thing we need to address is efficiency. The efficiency of this thing is terrible. I do have the 21-inch Sport Classic wheels. That certainly doesn't help the efficiency. So if you're getting the 20s or the 19s on this, that's going to help. I do not get advertised efficiency out of this thing. And normally in gas cars, it's pretty easy to get that. In this, it is not. There was a lawsuit that went out with these Macans, a bunch of cars, VW, because they were involved in the whole VW scandal, where they were faking the efficiency test. So and I got like a letter in the mail. It says like, you've been affected. You can be awarded between $200 and $1,100. So I'm interested to see if I actually get money from that. That would be kind of funny because it does not get what it says. Now, the range is great. It has a 19.8 gallon tank, so it's huge, but these things really gobble up fuel. So if you're looking for this to be your daily driver and you have a long commute, you're worried about gas mileage, Macan might not be the right car for you, but they offer a 4-cylinder. I haven't driven a 4-cylinder. My friend who owns a GTS has, and he said it's nice, like it's a nice car if you don't care about the performance. And let's be honest here, this is a 4,000-pound SUV. This is not a sports car. So they can put all the power and the exhaust and tires, you can do all that stuff. It's still an SUV, and you're not gonna get the sensation of speed that you get out of something like I previously owned a BMW M2. That was satisfying to drive. Even if a Macan could beat it in a straight line, which maybe it could, maybe certain models probably can, doesn't really matter because you don't get the same feeling out of it. It's still an SUV and it's numb, you sit up high. The steering response is great into turns, you can have fun with it, sounds good, good shifts, but the feel isn't there like when you're sitting low to the ground. So that's just something to be aware of. See, I kind of got this car with the expectation that it was going to satiate my need for speed, and it doesn't. Just an SUV, a well-made SUV, a beautiful SUV, a sporty one, but it's an SUV. The back seat room, it's pretty tight. You can manage it. but it is fairly tight. This is probably for, you know, if you have a family of 4 and you're doing a road trip in this thing, you're gonna be really pushing it on space, I think, unless you pack like underwear and granola and that's it. But I'm assuming you're gonna pack more than that. Your wife probably has 12 bags of heels, and that's fine, that's good for her, you know? So, or maybe your husband does. It's 2023, maybe your husband has the heels, who knows? But I do like this car a lot. I know that you will enjoy it. And the other reason that this is the greatest SUV I think that you can purchase is we've covered the back roads. The suspension, it rides great, it handles great. The infotainment in the 2016 is terrible. I mean, it takes a degree to, I mean, it's hard to find things. So I would recommend getting, I think the 2017 Pluses have Apple CarPlay, and that changes everything, as you guys know. And then the 2019 Pluses have a whole different infotainment screen, like the 10.5-inch display. So it's very nice, upgrades the interior greatly. But just the way it handles these turns, and then we have off-road mode. All right, so now we're gonna click it into off-road mode. So as I said earlier, it raises the car 40 millimeters from standard. It's actually pretty significant. You feel like you're in a different car. And then from the exterior, it looks a lot different. So it is certainly giving you more clearance, 40 millimeters of clearance to be precise. The interesting thing is it keeps the RPMs up higher and it puts the suspension in its stiffest setting, which I don't know much about off-roading, so I don't know why that would be good or bad, but I'm just telling you what it does. Then you can go do things like rally on dirt roads, because let's be honest, our level of off-roading, I mean, you know, if you're driving a Porsche Macan, you're not rock climbing, right? We have to be honest. You've got to be honest with yourself. Am I rock climbing? No, I'm not. I drive a Porsche Macan, and I don't rock climb with my car. We're on this dirt road. Now, in my M2 or anything else, even my Tesla, I wouldn't want it on this road, but this suspension can handle it, and it's fun. It adds a whole nother level of adventure for me. I can take this 29-mile dirt road all the way out to a lake. It just adds a whole nother aspect to the car that you can appreciate. So the Porsche Macan for me, all right, I'll say it, the Porsche Macan for me has been a great car to own. It's been very fun, it's very balanced, and I highly recommend it. If you have any questions about it, leave it in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video, you're gonna wanna watch this video right here where I do my first upgrade to the Porsche Macan, and make sure you're subscribed because I'm gonna be comparing this to my Tesla Model Y. Thanks for watching.